Hello Zainey friends, welcome to Bon-App-A-Geek, where we are showing you some recipes that are based on some of your favorite pop culture things, right? So today we're doing the Psych Cookbook, and that is going to be right up here since we do have it digitally. We can actually show you what it physically looks like. And what are we going to be making from this cookbook today?
Well, we have 3 different recipes. We're going to be doing a chili cheese fries pizza, the CineVue s'mores popcorn, and we're going to be doing a pineapple RazzmaTazz smoothie. 2 of these were directly from episodes, and one of them is inspired by an episode, but definitely something that the characters would eat.
So just one thing to note, a couple things to note before we start off. Psych is actually one of my favorite shows. Marshall has not seen all of it because we are currently binge watching through, and I used an excuse to actually purchase all of the DVDs because they took it off Netflix, and I was like, no! So I'm like, we need to have this show because it really is good. So basically, because of that, we decided, yes, I have had this cookbook for a little while, I haven't tried anything in it, so we're going to try some of these things. And granted, I don't know if you've noticed, but we tend to do a lot with popcorn because popcorn is one of our favorite things. So if you see like an occurrence of popcorn a lot in these videos, not to worry, it's very easy to make. That's one of the reasons why I'm putting in there. Anyone can make popcorn and add crap to it, right? So the other thing I wanted to mention is my shirt, which I'm finally wearing. Marshall did design this shirt for our friend Ora over at Ora Wrong Cookie. She won one of his contests because she entered and said, this is the shirt I want to make. So I'm finally wearing it in a video. I will link her stuff down below as well, but I will also put our social media here because Marshall will be doing other contests pretty much every other week to see if you want your brand design, if you want a logo design, or if you have a t-shirt design. He can help you with that. You can get it on a lot of different objects, not just t-shirts, but also other things as well, right?
Clocks. In fact, you can also have his laptop skins, or if you have a makeup bag you want, we can do makeup.
We can do that also. So make sure you follow us down below on social media because that is one of the things we do put on here. All right, so let's start. What's the first thing we're doing?
We are doing the chili cheese fries pizza.
Okay.
Now this comes from the episode Shawn Has the Yips, and in the episode he's gathering with the other police force members, and they're in a bar, and it's a bar that is always frequented by the police force, and this is the one thing that he orders so much, he's been trying to petition to have his name put in there as part of the name.
But it is kind of weird. It's chili cheese fries pizza.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you like chili cheese fries and you like pizza, maybe you might like this. We were going to find out.
It is seriously not healthy.
No.
Especially when you see what goes in here, not healthy. All right, so I'm going to move the pineapple because if you've watched Psych, you know about the pineapple. Comment below if you understand. I was wearing pineapple earrings because that's how I roll. All right.
Okay, so to start off with, you're going to take a baking pan. You're just going to line it with some tin foil, and we've got just a can of dough, a can of pizza dough, just rolled out. It's that easy. Next, can of chili.
And we want to be careful with this probably because you can't just dump it out on there because it will go all over the place.
What you want to do is you want to make sure that you get a little bit of extra edge so that you have a crust and you don't have it flying all over.
Okay.
So just going to take a spoon, just kind of spread some of it out.
Now we have not tested this recipe yet. Actually, none of these recipes. So it is going to be just a surprise for us as it is for you, but we don't normally eat like this. So we're kind of like, yeah, maybe only do this once. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. We'll see how we do.
So you want to make sure that there's a pretty even layer. It looks like he's using almost the entire can, but not quite.
Well, I mean, it's just what I've missed.
Okay. So yes, the entire can, right on there.
One whole can. Yep.
Oh, and preheat the oven to 400. I don't know if you said that.
No, I didn't say that. We do need to have it preheated to 400. Our next step, we're going to have some cheese. Just going to coat that with cheese. Now, there's a few issues that I have with this cookbook. There is a few errors that have been going on. For one, this step of assembling the pizza, it ends here. So there should be fries involved in this process. I don't know where they were intending them to go, so I'm just going to assume that the fries are going to go on right afterwards.
Yeah, seriously, no.
Yeah, it's not in there.
So basically what I think, just from logically what I know about cooking, because you want the cheese to bind it all together, we probably should have put the chili, or the cheese, the fries, yeah. We probably should have put the fries before the cheese, but because it didn't really tell you, we're going to go ahead and place them in.
Here's the other great thing about having so much cheese on such a small recipe. We have extra cheese, so we can just kind of put a little bit of extra on top to make it ooey.
Now, normally in a can of chili, you're going to have, you know, your onions and things like that, but I prefer my pizza to have actual vegetables on top, which this does not have, and it makes me a little bit sad, but that's fine. That's okay. If I was going to make really gourmet up this pizza, I probably would put some like onions and bell peppers and maybe even some olives, but
if I was to make this pizza, I'd probably be along the same lines. I would probably make the chili myself. Yeah. And that would give us a very high veggie.
I think this is great for like college students, honestly, which is what Shawn Spencer lives as, a college student anyway.
So just a little bit of extra cheese on top there. Now the recipe calls for 1 to 2 cups of fries, but just put it on there until you get a good amount. There we go.
All right. So then it's going to go into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes there.
Yep.
The next recipe we're doing is what?
The CineVue S'mores Popcorn.
And this is from an episode called An Evening with Mr. Yang. While they don't do this exact recipe in the episode itself, it does take place at a movie theater, drive-in theater. So doing this with popcorn, it almost seems to be just a natural way to go, especially with what's in here. It's very Shawn and Gus. So what do we do here?
Well, for one, it calls for pre-pop popcorn, so you could go to the store, just get some popcorn, or you can use our method. We have a bowl, a specially made bowl with a lid that goes on. You can microwave it. All you do is take 1/3 of a cup of unpopped popcorn, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and then you put it into the microwave for about 4.5 minutes. You do, however, want to go in and make sure that you remove all the unpopped kernels.
That's not good either.
No, especially not with this. So then you're just left with 8 cups of popped popcorn.
And we put it in a different bowl so that we can cool it down so that it doesn't make things melt.
Yeah, very important with this. The next thing that we're going to use is some butter. This is the melted butter, just salted. It's 2.5 tablespoons.
Okay.
And we're going to add to that 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Be very careful.
Yeah. And 1 teaspoon of kosher.
That is what it says in the recipe, kosher.
So we're just assuming they mean kosher salt.
Because what else is kosher that you normally put in popcorn?
It's not very often that I put a rabbi in popcorn.
Right, no. Okay, so just mix that up with a fork just to make sure that the salt gets incorporated. You want that done before you pour it on top of the popcorn itself.
And we're just going to pour right on top.
Make sure you drizzle very nicely. And then you're going to toss that around. Make sure it's covered with the butter. Now, like, I don't know if we said this already, but you guys, we are big popcorn eaters in this house. We probably shouldn't be, but we are. Because what else would you do when you watch movies or TV shows is you have popcorn. So as we're going through and doing our own recipes, we might be doing a lot of popcorn recipes, just because that's our thing. Okay, what do we do next?
Well, next we have 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of marshmallows. And you could have 1 cup of your favorite kinds of nuts. It says pecans, but we don't tend to do nuts.
No, I mean, we could do peanuts, but I don't think we really had any, so we just decided not to.
Yeah. So we're just going to put that in, and we're going to make sure that it's nice and combined. And see, this is when it was... We tried this once, and we made it wrong because we had put all of those ingredients in together while it was still warm. And that did not end up good.
No, it didn't. So you want to make sure that the butter is first, it is cooled down, after you pop it, and then you just kind of mix it all together, because what you want is just a little stickiness so that the things stick to the popcorn but don't melt. You don't want it to melt yet.
Yeah. That's going to come in just a moment. So now you're going to take a cookie sheet with some parchment paper lining it, and you're just going to pour this out on top.
And
making sure you get it all mixed in.
Because it looks like the chocolate chips are kind of like stuck to the side of the bowl there, so you want to make sure that they are, you know, incorporated. I'm not a big fan of marshmallows too much, but we're putting it in here because it's more like s'mores, and yeah. I'm really actually surprised there's not other seasonings on this. I would have put something like, I don't know, sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon or something like that, but that's another video.
Okay, so we have our our oven has already been preheated to 325 degrees. We're just going to pop it in for 2 minutes, just enough to start melting everything.
All right, so for our last recipe, we are doing
pineapple razzmatazz smoothie.
And it comes from the episode Shawn Interrupted, where Shawn and Gus are in a mental institution where they're trying to prove that this mentally unstable guy is not a murderer. We actually just watched this episode like a couple of days ago, so it's kind of funny. But apparently, the way they talk about this smoothie is when they break this guy out, they take him to a smoothie shop, right? So
Shawn orders he goes, I'll have a pineapple razzmatazz smoothie, and then he orders something else for the other guy.
Right. So this particular recipe doesn't even have pineapple in it, which we thought was weird because it's called pineapple razzmatazz. And how can you not have pineapple in a Psych smoothie? So we are adding our own. So what are we doing here?
Well, we're going to start with some raspberry sherbet, or sherbet. I never know how to say this properly.
That's sherbet. Not sorbet, because that would be with an O. Yeah. They originally called for orange, but we decided to use raspberry because it is razzmatazz.
Yeah. So we're just going to take, and this is going to be for serving one person. So we're going to make 2 scoops of the sorbet. Sherbet.
It's not sorbet. It's sorbet or sherbet. It's not even sherbet. It's sorbet or sherbet. Sorbet.
That's like, I could never say this right, and I know I can never say it right because every time it comes out of my mouth I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So the next thing we're gonna have is some cranberry cocktail juice. You could also use raspberry juice if you can find it. I couldn't find that, so good thing we have that extra option. We're gonna have 1 cup of that. I'm just gonna go right there.
And side note, we are not sponsored by Target. We just happen to get our groceries at Target. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we have 1 cup of frozen strawberries.
And it's good that they're hard frozen because then when you make the smoothie, that's what's going to give it that icy texture. Okay.
And then we're going to have 1 cup of pineapple, which was not called for in the original recipe, but we're adding it in there. We took out most of the juice, because otherwise it's going to be a rather sloppy smoothie. And then we're going to have 1 cup of frozen banana. One thing to remember when you're doing this, though, you're going to want to cut up the chunks of the banana before you put it into the freezer, because when you try to pull out a whole banana and then take the rind off of it, it's just not going to work. So we're just going to take like 1 cup of
Probably like half this bowl.
Half of this bowl. What do you guys think? But we're not done yet. We got to go ahead and get this blended.
We have in front of us our recipes. We have this chili cheese fries pizza.
Chili cheese fries pizza. We have the CineVue s'mores. And we have the pineapple razzmatazz smoothie.
Which is good for any afternoon that you're basically not doing anything. Shall we start with the smoothie?
Yeah, sure.
It is good. I think it's not as blended. Well, okay, it's too watery. I feel like it could have had more ice. Probably putting ice into the smoothie would have helped it, but it's very delicious.
Yeah, it's good flavor, just not good enough on thickness.
I'm really skeptical about this because it seems to be very carb with cheese and chili.
It's not horrible. This is definitely bar food. Yeah, this is bar food. So all you college students out there, you're going to love this. All of you that are 30 plus and desperately seeking somebody, this is probably not the best idea.
No, but if you really are in the mood for something like greasy and you don't know if you want French fries or pizza, this is a very good alternative.
It is important to also pre-season your French fries.
Yes.
Not all of them come seasoned. These were seasoned, but I added a little bit extra.
Right. Okay, so lastly, let's go ahead and try the popcorn, which is a very gooey.
Yeah.
And very chocolatey, which is why we're eating it last.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, actually, how I like this.
Yeah.
I feel like the butter might have actually been the wrong direction to go in.
It might have, but I think it needed something to help it stick.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it, kind of. I don't know, I like that it's kind of a little salty, but a little sweet, which I do like, but overall, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
We'll still be going back to our classic garlic jazz popcorn,
Which we will be making later on when Will and Grace comes out. Garlic jazz. That's happening. Well, thank you so much for watching this Bon-App-A-Geek, where we cook from the Psych Cookbook. Make sure you check out all of our other ones. I'm going to link them down below so that you won't miss out. But until next time,
stay zany.
Bye-bye.